Peace, what's going on? It's your boy Spence. Here come the thunder, baby. Alright, check this out, man. I'm kind of going to be a bit transparent with you guys. I'm not going to show any analytics or anything like that. But I'm going to kind of show you what to expect when kind of stepping into this business of being creative and actually building with a trade. I'm Spence. My last name is Spence. First name is Dante. And I was originally an electrician. So I was started off as an electrician. And I did the major stuff from residential to commercial, mainly commercial, just where I started off. And I kind of owned it. I owned my skill. I kind of, you can say mastered it, but I haven't mastered it. I didn't learn all the bookwork to it, but when it comes to using your hands and being competitive and competing and actually getting a job done from A to Z by yourself and kind of being self-taught, kind of mastered it. From the pipe bending to everything, and services, wiring panels, I been there, done that. It started to become, not saying not of a challenge, but it wasn't giving me meaning, because once you do some beautiful pipe work, you might admire it and might last all day or to the end of the job, and after that you leave that job and you kind of, your artwork, your hard labor, skill, everything, your passion, everything you poured into that work kind of just get moved on. People don't look at it. If you're not a tradesman, you're not going to go up and look up like how usually tradesmen do. Most of the stuff get covered up in ceilings and all the little fancy stuff that you be doing to impress your boss and impress your higher up. It's just, it kind of gets covered up, you know what I'm saying? So I had to find more meaning in life and kind of use what I learned from being around other carpenters and being in a construction field, understanding structure, understanding what it takes, just being easy to absorb and learn knowledge. And that's kind of how I got started. I just went at it, but when I did start this building media walls, I went above and beyond to be creative, because I already had this design in my head and I wanted to do it. So I just went at it. Everything I needed to learn about sheetrock, talent, and stuff like that, I learned as I went. You build the plane while you're flying. So, and after that, you just stay kind of creative. I was already building a platform, which is on Instagram. I probably had about around 3,000 followers, just mounting TVs and doing electrical lighting, recessed lighting, and fireplace. The fireplace was kind of just jumping off and around, you could say this was 2020, 2019, 2020, when the pandemic, fresh out the pandemic, that's when I went kind of fully independent. I left my job, my union job, making about $6.35 an hour to start my own path, and with the help of unemployment and everything that ran out, but it still helped out, and I kicked off, took advantage of what I had, and I went at it. So fast forward in a year and a half later, I'm doing well, I'm getting all this work. TV money is great. TV money was great for me. They don't call me no more, but TV money was great for me, and I was eating. I was almost averaging like $1,000 a day. If I go to 3 houses a day, I was making so much money. Mounting sound bars, fireplaces. I come with the fireplace, I come with the sound bars, I come with the TV mount, and I just do the work, get in and out in an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, and then I make the maximum amount of my money. So I always had this concept in my head of seeing these media walls and stuff like that. So I wanted to create my own art, create something more to look at than just a screen and just a little fireplace. I wanted to create some art because I can draw. I am, I guess, an artist by nature. So this was my way of starting. So I started, and this was my first one, and then the rest was history. How I price out my jobs are, I go by the rule of 7. 7 is always a comfortable number. I always go with 7. It's 10 is a little bit too high, 5 is too low for me. So right in the middle, let's go with 7. I want to make at least $1,000 bare minimum a day off of doing this, but that was my bare minimum start. So now the price has increased too as well. So on average price, these walls can run to about $7,000. Now if you want to deduct shelving, and you want to provide your own fireplace, and you want it to you don't want to add stone or any marble texture, then the prices can reduce. So now if you want to add another TV on the side, or if you want to add some more shelving, or if you want any type of special design, it depends. The bigger the better. The standard is 12 foot for me, 12 by 9 foot ceilings or 8 foot ceilings. Now if it goes anything further than that, now I gotta start upping the price. Now I kind of give a set price of what I want. It could be $8,500, $9,000. It depends on which kind of wall. A wall like this, it was kind of not about $9,000. About around $9,000. A wall like this could be $9,500. I haven't done anything where I wanted to charge about $10,000 yet. I can, but I don't. But now you can do the math. You do about 4 of these walls, on the average is $7,000. How much is that a month? That's about $28,000 a month. Now to do one of these jobs, depending on who you are, how many people you got with you, you can get them done in 4 days, you can get them done in 3 days, you can get it done in 6 days. Now you still got other time to make more money. You could probably even make 2 walls a day. It depends on who you are, what status you built, what platform you have. Are you the specialist? Are you the guy that they want? Anybody can do this. I'm not saying nobody can do this. Of course, I can teach a square. I can teach. I taught multiple people this, and people still learn just off of my videos alone. You got those type of people who just need to see it and not be handheld, taught it step by step. Some people who just learn off of just your pictures, and then now I'm giving out videos, so I'm even teaching more of the game. And you might ask, why would you teach yourself and people teach people and take yourself out of the game? It's not really out of the game, because it's not everybody can do this, not everybody willing to do this, not everybody have the time, so they'll still call me, and eventually we'll get it done. And for the people who's copying the blueprint and everything, kudos to them, because this shit is tough. Excuse my language. This thing is tough. You got to be mentally strong, physically strong, and just well prepared. Finances, you'll be financially taken care of with this business. So you can expect with material. Say if you got a 7,000 job, what material you can expect about to spend material and providing a fireplace. Let's say about $1,000 to $1,500, depending on what material you're getting, what stone, how much the length of the wall is. So you can expect to profit over about $5,500 to $5,000 off of profit. Now that's every month. That's going towards the profit. Of course, you got expenses. If you got a truck like mine, you have expenses like this. If you have any other vehicles, that goes as an expense too, if you know how to write it off. Any other expenses, gas, tolls, hotels and stuff like that. Everything's expensive, so not everything is just liquid cash, So, but you are taken care of by the business because you are the owner. So you might want to accumulate that and kind of get you a real good accountant that you can rely on, and you be on that accountant from day one. So you might want to take consideration of that. It's not all just money in your pocket, or you just you can pay yourself up to $100,000, or if you want to structure your business that way and how much you earn, if you want to looking to get a house and everything like that. But you still have to pump money into the business. You still have to have a good amount of cash flow for something happens with the truck, something happens. If you're losing money, you got to pay out your employees if you have employees, stuff like that. So let's do the math on it a little bit. $7,000 to times 4 times 12. That's 336,000 a year. And I'm just always lowballing it with the quarter mil a year. I always go to lowball. I always expect to not have a powerful month. Even if you want to go with the bare minimum. So quarter mil sounds better. It sounds more promising. But if you were to average a wall a week, a media wall of one a week, that's kind of what you're looking at as far as your business revenue. Now, what you pay yourself, what you pay employees, that's all on you. But your business can be in the top 10%, 15% of earners. And yeah, it's something. If you can manage your energy and you can really build that platform to be the guys that they want to call, and you have a great design, a great portfolio, and proof of work. People who want to call you, they'll give you their keys and say, here, take my house and go crazy with it. Do whatever you want on the wall. Design it this way. You're going to get the clients who's going to be a hard pain in the butt. You're going to get the easy ones who just want this to look great and do what you want. Those are the best clients, of course. The clients feed you. They're great. Some give you hospitality stays. You can take this wherever you want. I go to California. I go to anywhere, Virginia, wherever the money goes. You charge a travel fee additional from $700 to $1,000, depending on the job, how many days you got to stay. I just go off a set price. If I'm going all the way to California, I'm charging you $1,200 to come to California. And that's hotels, that's your truck rental. You can bring your tools and everything, your handheld tools, and if you got Milwaukee pack outs, you can pack it out and bring your boxes and put it under the plane. So yeah, you got hotels, you got trucks, you got all your extra tool rentals if you need to. Like your saws, I usually bring a circular saw and just do what I can with that. Anything else from Home Depot that you buy, like levels and stuff like that, ladders and everything, you can return that stuff. Return it, put it right back, So, yeah, that's a great thing. That's a great thing to have under your belt. Let me see. Like I said, your U-Haul, just rent out a U-Haul for the rest of the week. You're looking around $300 to $400 for U-Haul. Plane tickets, depending on where you're going, $100 to $500, not including your helper if you have a helper. Hotels, you're looking about $300 to $500. So, and then everything else, gas and expenses like your food and stuff like that. Try to accumulate and calculate all that stuff if you are traveling. Now, if you're gonna do this business, you have to travel. You have to travel to eat. Your city, if you're in the tri-state, your tri-state might hold you down. They might not. You might have to go here. You might have to go there. Now, we are thin spreaded for the people who can do this at a high level, who can do it exactly the way the client wants. But you have to show the client exactly what they want. You got to show your uniqueness, how uniform your walls look, how special you are. Your consistency. It comes with a status thing too. So like they want to. Once you build yourself to a certain status, like we have about 84,000 on Instagram right now, and they want it from you because you are the new IKEA, you are the Gucci, you are the Louis. So yeah, earn a great income. Like I said, I can't complain too much. It's a mental toughness that you have to carry with this. So I suggest you buckle up and get to learning, kind of learn from the best. I do offer some classes. I haven't really taught any classes yet, but if you want to pay to play, let's go ahead and let's get it. I am going to start offering free classes for you to just come shadow me and be a helper and help out, and you absorb as much as you can on this job. So that's another option with this YouTube. I want to build a platform where I can be monetized and develop a huge income, so I can choose where I want to work. And maybe it might be your house. I might just want to borrow your wall, and charge you probably $1,000 or $1,500, and you might have a whole new custom wall. That's my goal. I appreciate y'all for watching. You can make a bare minimum of 200, a quarter mil to 333,000, and this is basically solely based off your hunger. Nobody's gonna book you unless you give them a reason to book you. You gotta convince people, And I'm a kid out of North New Jersey, so I'm 30 years old, not that young, not that old, So I'm just hungry with a vision, with some goals in mind, and I'm ready to get it either other way. So if you want to stay with our journey, if you want to subscribe with us on Instagram or come into our YouTube membership, we can get a team together, a networking team where we can network with different professionals, potential partnerships, investments, classes, mentorship. If you looking for that mentor / big brother / coach, life coach, and I'm ready to network. I'm ready to get it going. I'm kind of ready to just take on life, so let's get it. I appreciate all my subscribers and all my fans, and I don't really like to call that fans, because I don't want to get big headed off of none of this stuff. I appreciate all the supporters. Y'all definitely hold me down, and you can get full contact with me, even if you want to talk or have me walk you through stuff. Let's arrange it. Members get completely full access to me, and if you are an Instagram subscriber, you can get 25% off of life if you want me to work for you. And give me some questions, let me answer it, and help me become a better creator, a content creator, and we can grow together. I appreciate you. This is my truck. I am about to go on a job and get stuff going. I highly recommend you get a box truck, or you get a cargo van. My cargo van fits in my garage. I had to disassemble a couple pieces on the door to make it fit. But I highly recommend you invest into a cargo van, because it's gonna be your little office. You can even sleep in here if you want to. Sometimes I sleep in my truck. I got an air bed in the back. When it's nice outside and I ain't gotta turn the heat on, hey, I'm packing it up. I might not want to drive home after I just work 10-12 hours, But great business. You can make a quarter mil. You can make however much you want. If you have a higher clientele already, you want to extend your arsenal, become a specialist. This is for you. I'm learning from the best. Appreciate y'all. Spence out. Later.